Hobart is truly the jewel in the crown of sailing, and it represents one of the most important partnerships in our global events calendar. As you know, yacht racing is fiercely competitive and demands precision, resilience, and the finest teamwork. The 77th edition, remarkable from start to finish, has been a great display of all these values, something for the entire sailing community to be proud of. I wish you and your families a happy new year, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all next year for the 78th edition. Thank you very much.
Benoit now has the duty of presenting the Rolex Yachtmaster timepiece for line honours to Andrew Comanche and the winning skipper, John Winning Jr. Fabulous performance, 1 day, 11 hours, 56 minutes. They finished at 12:57 a.m. on the 28th of December. There was a huge crowd to greet them, 26.5 minutes ahead of Law Connect, and as we mentioned, just under 3 hours outside the race record. A triumph for Andrew Comanche and John Winning Jr. Receiving the Rolex Yachtmaster timepiece. Thanks, Herman. And our thanks also to Benoit. I'd now like to introduce Commodore Richard Bevan, who's going to present the next round of trophies. And the first trophy will be third in PHS division, a CYCA trophy, and it goes to Allegro Adrian Lewis from the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia. Allegro, the beautiful 20.3 metre boat, finishing third in PHS. Second PHS division goes to Marco Paul O'Rourke, the Sydney 40, from the Newcastle Cruising Yacht Club. And I'm pretty sure that Marco was a member of the Dutch Admirals Cup team, Mako, when they won the 1999 Admirals Cup. Congratulations to Mako. First in PHS division, the Ranza Trophy and the CYCA Trophy goes to Cyan Moon from the Royal Brighton Yacht Club. Wayne Seward, competing in their first Rolex Sydney Hobart. Great to see the Victorian tradition of the Rolex Sydney Hobart being upheld by Cyan Moon. Third in the Division 38, the Sydney 38 division, the CYCA Trophy goes to Pulpito, David Treguier. From the Cercle Nautique Caledonian, their first Sydney Hobart. We hadn't heard from the French crew, but we knew they must have been having a good time. But they are represented here, and they've taken third in the Sydney 38 division. David Treguier in Pulpito from New Caledonia. Second in the Sydney 38 division, and it goes to the Grimes family, Hasta la Vista. From the Lake Macquarie Yacht Club, and the 22-year-old twin co-skippers, Thomas and Jessica Grimes. And Father Richard was the navigator, of course. And they had one outstanding identity on board, Matt Hall, the world champion Red Bull flying ace. So they had all bases covered. Congratulations, hasta la vista. Third in the Corinthian PHS, the CYC Trophy, and first in the Sydney 38 division goes to CYCA boat Sankont, Kim Jagger. And this was quite a story, really, because the boat, Sankont, came to grief just a few weeks before the Rolex Sydney Hobart, and Kim had to find a new boat. He managed to find one of Lou Abraham's old boats, and talk about a race against time. They got there, and they've been first in the Sydney 38 division. That's a fantastic effort for Sankont and Kim Jagger. Second in the two-handed division, the CYCA Trophy. Second over the line in the two-handed, and it goes to CYCA representative Minnie, the Jones 42, Michael and Ollie Bell. Father and son combination. Michael, Zappa as he's known, former American Admiral's Cup sailor, very distinguished sailor, and a terrific effort there to be second over the line in the two-handed category. Well done, Michael Bell. First in the two-handed line honours, or first over the line in the two-handed class, to be specific, the CYCA Trophy, and it goes to Ocean Crusaders Jaybird. Ian and Annika Thompson, husband and wife combination. They spent 3 years restoring their beautiful 52-footer, and they are representing proudly the Whitsunday Sailing Club in Queensland. It's great to be a Queenslander. First female skipper, Jane Tate Memorial Trophy and half model, and it goes to Ocean Crusaders Jaybird, Annika Thompson. Don't go away. Second ORCI Division 3 CYCA Trophy, and the winner is Ariel, Ron Forster and Philip Damp. Representing the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia. Ron completing his 8th Rolex Sydney Hobart, and Phil his 6th. 2 trophies for second ORCI Division 3 and third IRC Division 4. Well done, Ariel. Third in ORCI Division 2 CYCA Trophy, and the winner is Carlisi, Rob Aldous and Sandy Farquharson. Representing the Middle Harbour Yacht Club in Sydney. And that's a nice finish this year after breaking their forestay last year. Well done, Carlisi, Rob Aldous and Sandy Farquharson. Third in IRC Division 3, the CYCA Trophy, and it goes to South Brittany, the French entry. skipper Tanguy Fournier-Leray, an all-French crew of 11, but there was one Aussie on board. Arthur Saltis, a famous name in the Sydney-Hobart, Arthur completing his 17th Rolex Sydney-Hobart. But congratulations to Tanguy Fournier-Leray, South Brittany, the all-French crew. And our thanks to Commodore Bevan. I'll now call on Kate Dean for the next round of trophies. Kate is the Group Executive, Governance and Corporate Affairs for Tasports. And Kate, our first trophy, it's the first on Corinthian PHS, a CYC trophy, and it goes to Pretty Woman from the Royal Prince Alfred Yacht Club, Richard Hudson. Richard completing his 13th race, and they had an outstanding group of females on board, including Juliet Constanza, a former Australian match racing champion. So well done to Pretty Woman. They also got the York Family Trophy as well. First in ORCI Division 4, second in the two-handed ORCI, and third IRC Division 5, and the winner is Crux, Carlos Ados and Peter Grayson from the Manly Yacht Club. And Crux, a very distinctive boat, I believe the last S&S 34 ever built. So 3 trophies to be collected for the 34-footer from the Manly Yacht Club, Crux. And the whole family's here. Looks as though we've got a couple of future Rolex Sydney Hobart sailors a bit further down the track. Very happy about that, Dad. Yep. Second in ORCI Division 4, second IRC Division 5. Representing the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia, White Bay 6, Azuro, Shane Kearns. Shane completing his 17th Hobart race. He's been so close to the overall victory on a couple of occasions, and this will be his last Rolex Sydney Hobart, everyone. His doctor has said no more, and the boat is up for sale. It's a sister ship to the 1969 overall winner, Morning Cloud, Sir Edward Heath. And Shane, we all pay tribute to your fantastic contribution to the Rolex Sydney Hobart. Duncan McRae was with you as navigator in 19 races completed for him. Third in the two-handed IRC and second IRC Division 3, and it goes to Packman from the Royal Queensland Yacht Squadron. So 2 trophies for the 10-metre Packman from the Royal Queensland Yacht Squadron, Peter Elkington and Scott Kavanagh. Peter, a former crewman, distinguished sailor on Blackjack, completing his 16th Rolex Sydney Hobart. Third ORCI Division 4, third two-handed ORCI, and second two-handed IRC, 3 trophies, Sunfast Racing, Lee Condell and Lincoln Dews. From the Royal Prince Alfred Yacht Club, just about the newest boat in the fleet, I think. It's only 6 months old. but 3 trophies collected by Sunfast Racing, and we're going to be hearing a lot more of these guys in this boat, Lee Condell and Lincoln Dews. First, ORCI Division 2, the Tasports Trophy. Second, IRC Division 2, and it goes to Alegria Republic from the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia. Rodney Jones, 2-time Australian IRC champion. Well done, Rodney. Alegria Republic from the CYC. And this boat, formerly Occasional Course Language 2. I bet the owner will be cursing he sold it. You've done him proud. Third, ORCI Division 1, CYCA Trophy, and the winner is Quest Craig Neal. Very famous Sydney Hobart bait, a 2-time winner as Quest and also as Balance, and on board was the famous Mike Green, completing his 43rd Rolex Sydney Hobart. Well done to Quest, Craig Neal. Third, ORCI Division 1, always there. First, ORCI Division 3, the Tasports Trophy. First in IRC Division 3, the CYC Trophy, and the RORC Trophy and Replica. And the winner is Sunrise, Thomas Neame from England. And the English proudly represented. We're getting ready for the Ashes series next year. Look out. Adrian Carlin was also on board, completing her 30th Rolex Sydney Hobart. But just wonderful to have Thomas Neame and Sunrise sailing the boat out from England to join us here in the Rolex Sydney Hobart. And their boat is the current holder of the famous Fastnet Cup. So the Fastnet winner, Sunrise, flying the flag for the United Kingdom. Well done. And our thanks to Kate Dean, the Group Executive of Governance and Corporate Affairs at Tasports. I'll now call on the Honourable Jeremy Rockcliffe, the Premier of Tasmania, to welcome you all on behalf of the island state.
Well, thank you very much, Gordon. It's a great pleasure indeed, a wonderful honour for me to be here as Premier of Tasmania and to say a few words. Can I firstly acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land of which we're meeting today, and I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, our sailors, event organisers and volunteers, a sincere welcome from me. It's a great pleasure for me to be not only here today but to presenting a number of prizes, of course, here, but indeed line honours in the Tattersall's Cup over the past few days as well on this 77th iteration of the Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race. Can I congratulate everyone involved, the captains, crew, friends and family, sponsors and partners, media, event organisers, as I say, and indeed volunteers as well. It has been a great pleasure for me to be there in the early hours of the morning presenting line honours to Andrew Comanche and indeed the Tattersall's Cup to Celestial just yesterday. And can I pay tribute to all our sailors for the wonderful teamwork that was clearly on display, clearly a bond created through the spirit of adventure. I admire your skill, your tenacity, endurance, and of course your spirit of adventure, and we celebrate that here today. Once again, the Sydney to Hobart Yacht Race has delivered a spectacle, of course, for Hobart and for all the world to see. And after 77 years, we have seen the Sydney to Hobart mature into one of the world's best loved and most popular sporting attractions, with, of course, many yachts and sailors coming back year after year to revel in the challenge that this great ocean race has to offer. It's a race that, of course, is held in high esteem right across the globe by participants, the general public, the media event partners, and, of course, the community in general. This event would not happen, of course, without the collaboration of the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia and finishing partner, the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania, and I sincerely commend both clubs for the work that you've put into this race and the deep and long-lasting history that you have made together. To the captains and their crew, what an extraordinary effort. No matter where you finished, congratulations. You should be very proud of the mental and physical effort it's taken to achieve what you have by competing in one of the toughest ocean races in the entire world. And of course, the Sydney to Hobart is an important part of Tasmania's summer calendar of events. Our Taste of Summer, which I hope you've participated and enjoyed in as you've been here. The Hobart International Tennis Tournament, the Australian Wooden Boat Festival, which of course will be of interest to many of you at the Hobart waterfront in February. We are a very proud sponsor and supporter of these events, which contribute, of course, to record numbers of people coming to Tassie and spending their summer here. But once again, Tasmanian crowds and those from further afield have gathered on the foreshores of Sullivan's Cove to cheer on the yachts, their crews, as they cross the finish line, and again, admire all of your spirit of adventure and determination and courage. This year, with such a large number of boats competing, the crowd's enthusiasm has been exemplary, and I commend the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia for once again delivering the race village on the waterfront. It is an important central focal and meeting point for sailors, their families, and indeed the public to mingle and celebrate the event as the boats arrive into Hobart, and of course a great way to safely activate the spectacle of the finish line in Hobart. Of course, our support has enabled a special broadcast element providing fans a bird's eye view of both the line honours finish and the overall handicap battle, with race end footage streamed live around the world via the event's digital channels. The images of the finishing line in Hobart, this exposure as the boats, of course, made their way up the Derwent, put some of the Hobart and Tasmania's very natural and assets, of which we're all very proud of, on full display. Of course, I would like to acknowledge the continued support of the naming rights sponsor. Thank you, Benoit, Rolex, for the wonderful investment that you've made into the Sydney to Hobart Yacht Race, the involvement of the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania, and in particular the event organisers, the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia. You should be indeed very proud of your efforts. Thank you all for your participation. We are very proud to be involved in the Sydney to Hobart Yacht Race. It most certainly puts not only southern Tasmania, but all of Tasmania on the map. As I said at a function just last night to a few of you, we are a very proud state, some 570,000 people. We work very hard in that quiet pursuit of the extraordinary. We have to do the very best and be the very best to do everything we do, and I hope you experience that here, whether it's our wonderful tourism attractions, our environment, our premium whiskies, fine foods. You're all very welcome, not only right now to come in Tasmania and explore, but indeed many, many years to come. Thank you and congratulations to all. Cheers.
Thank you, Premier. I'll ask you to stand by now. You'll be very pleased to present some of these milestone medallions, and particularly to one of your new Tasmanians. So the first one is the 40 race medallion recognition, and it goes to Ed Saltis, one of the stalwarts of the Rolex Sydney Hobart. Ed competed in his first race in 1979 aboard his father's yacht Meltemi. He's gone on to compete in his 40th race, having only missed 3 during that entire Sydney Hobart career span. In the 1980s, he sailed 4 races with Bob Oatley before doing his next 7 races. Hang on, don't go away, Ed, we're talking about you. This is just amazing. Before doing his next 7 races aboard 30-footers, Revelation and Nuzulu. The first of the Midnight Rambler yachts appeared in 1996 and came to prominence by winning the storm-lashed 1998 race with Ed as skipper, gaining the respect of all sailors with his seamanship. Ed sailed his 5th yacht, named Midnight Rambler, in this year's race. He's now sailing out of Hobart proudly for the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania. Well done, Ed. And now the 25 race medallions. And next recipient is Michael Bensick. Please come forward, Michael. Michael did his first race in 1988 aboard Revelation, joining Ed Saltis for his following 25 races aboard various boats named Midnight Rambler, winning the Stormlash 1998 race. Another very dedicated sailor, and all of Michael's races have been in yachts 40 feet or smaller. And as we mentioned, he's a lifelong mate of Ed Saltis. They grew up, they raced against each other. I think he's got 3 years on you as far as seniority is going, and he's got a few races for you to catch up to, but well done, mate. Michael Bensick. Next recipient for 25 races is Tom Braidwood. Tom was on Whisper. Tom can't be with us here today, and Dave Kellett, distinguished Australian sailor, is coming up. Dave's been involved, he's been down nearly 50 times on the race, and one of Australia's great yachtsmen. So Dave Kellett is going to come up and receive on behalf of Tom Braidwood, who followed in the footsteps of his father, who competed in the Rolex Sydney Hobart in the 1970s. Tom did his first race aboard Ozfire in 1990, sailing on many competitive boats like Quest, Bumblebee 5, Lockie, and also Ichiban, and also being sought after as crew to compete in round-the-world races. Tom Braidwood won line honours aboard Perpetual Loyal in 2011 and has raced the last 3 Sydney Hobarts with Whisper. Our next recipient for 25 is Andrew Henderson, Hamilton Island Wild Oats 11. So Andrew, sailing with the legendary Lou Abrahams for his first 6 races, commencing in 1990, before winning the first of his 2 overall wins in the Rolex Sydney Hobart aboard Osmaid in 1996. And after 2 races aboard Scandia Wild Thing, Andrew joined the Wild Oats 11 team for 12 races with another win and 7 line honours victories. 2 further line honours came in 2019 on Comanche and last year on Blackjack, with a tally of line honours wins now at 9 and 2 overall wins. Andrew sailed this year's race aboard Wild Oats 11. Next 25 race recipient is Sean Kirkjean. Sean was aboard Sen. Sean can't be with us. I believe Callum Cecil is going to come up and receive on his behalf. Sean became the youngest person to skipper a yacht to Hobart in his family's yacht Lady Anne, with his mother as navigator, in 1986. Sailing as crew again in 96 aboard 97, Sean became a much sought-after sailor on such famous yachts as Ragamuffin, Yendis and Victoire, and which he won the great race in 2013. Since 2016, Sean has sailed in the very competitive TP52 class and competed in this year's race aboard Zen. So congratulations, Sean Kirkjean, and also Callum Cecil. Our next recipient and the final recipient of 25 race medallion is Duncan McLeod, No Limit. Duncan has only missed 3 races in 25 years, doing his first race aboard Rockstar in 1994, following on with crewing aboard many highly competitive yachts, Terra Firma, Merlin, with Olympic gold medalist David Forbes, and also the 50-footers Shogun and Secret Men's Business. as well as a couple of races aboard the 100-footers, Scandia Wild Thing and Rio 100. Duncan has sailed the last 3 races with David Goetz aboard No Limit. And we should mention also that Tony Ellis, of course, was on board, adding to his record up to 54 Rolex Sydney Hobarts. And last but not least, we have Peter Merrington from Guelo. Known as Billy, Pete is a 3rd-generation Rolex Sydney Hobart competitor. He follows in the footsteps of his grandfather Ernie and father Stephen, having only missed 2 races in 25, and sailing is certainly a family passion. He did his last race in 1995 aboard Quest before becoming a maxi specialist crew. Tom Grimes, by the way, is accepting, the co-skipper of Hasta La Vista. He's only 22 years of age. So he wasn't even born when Peter started. But it does give him a nice taste early on. But he did race his first race in 95 aboard Quest before becoming a maxi specialist crew on Nicorette for line honours in 2000, followed by an overall win and line honours aboard Wild Oats 11 in 2005. Another 3 line honours wins with Wild Oats 11, Alfa Romeo and Investec Loyal. And Peter has sailed Guelo, the TP52, to podium positions in the last 2 races. Well done, Peter Merrington, and thanks to Tom Grimes. We'll now have the next trophy presentation, and this is for the yacht travelling from the furthest port to compete. It's the Polish Trophy and Plaque, and the winner is Cassiopeia 68, all the way from Hungary. Demeter Nobilis is the skipper. Balint Sipis was the navigator. Cassiopeia 68 from the Almad Yacht Club in Hungary, a luxury racer cruiser, and they have travelled furthest, more than any other yacht, to be part of the 2022 Rolex Sydney Hobart, receiving the Polish Trophy and Plaque. First yacht under 9.5 metres across the line, Plum Crazy Trophy, and it goes to the oldest boat in the fleet, the smallest boat in the fleet, with a 6-man crew, Maluka, Peter Langman. Peter arrived with his crew, his mates, yesterday afternoon. They got a rousing ovation and a fantastic result for Maluka, which has been based at Commandi here in Tasmania. And Peter Langman, I think, did his first race as an 18-year-old skipper on Maluka, and now he's 11 years older and he's had a terrific finish again, but not as fast as his dad did as skipper of Maluka. You'll get your chance. Well done, Pete. The first armed services yacht on corrected time, it's the Ogden Cup and Plaque, and it goes to the Army Sailing Club, Gunrunner. Gunrunner continuing their domination of the Ogden Cup over the Navy. Second in ORCI Division 2, third in IRC Division 2, first Victorian yacht on corrected time, the Lou Abrahams Memorial Trophy, and the winner is Chutzpah, Bruce Taylor. Bruce representing the Royal Yacht Club of Victoria, one of the famous Rolex Sydney Hobart yachtsmen, completing his 41st race, and son Drew was on board also in his 29th. Well done, the Taylors and the mighty Hutzpah. First IRC Division 2, the Peter Alsop Memorial Trophy and Replica, and also the CYCA Trophy. And it goes to Enterprise Next Generation, Anthony Kirk and Andrew Nutman. Proudly representing the Fremantle Sailing Club in Western Australia. And receiving redress for their stoic duty, standing by the stricken Cohen, which lost its rudder after coming to grief early in the race. Congratulations to the Fremantle Sailing Club, Enterprise Next Generation, the GP42, a proven performer, and coming to the aid of the stricken Koa. Third IRC Division 0, the CYCA Trophy, and the winner is URM, Anthony and David Johnson. Also the winner of the conventionally ballasted and taking out the Ichiban Trophy as well. A couple of trophies there for Anthony and David Johnson in URM. First in IRC Division 0, the Rush Cutter Trophy and Replica, and the winner is Moneypenny, Sean Langman. Sean completing his 31st Sydney Hobart. Had some wonderful crew on board. Jeff Beauchamp, Gordon Maguire, Brett Van Munster, Ed Powers, Josh Alexander. And of course, we send our best wishes to David Blanchfield in hospital at the moment, but recovering well after that nasty leg injury. But congratulations to Sean Langman, Moneypenny, winner of Division 0, and also the new Audi Centre Sydney Blue Water Point Score champion. Our thanks to the Premier of Tasmania, and I'll now call on CYCA Commodore Arthur Lane to make a short speech before we go into the next round of trophy presentations. So please welcome the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia, Commodore Arthur Lane.
Your Excellency, Premier, ladies and gentlemen, what a difference a year makes. The past couple of years were extraordinary. We had fire, drought, floods, COVID, and they all took an enormous toll on our sporting activities, not at least this wonderful Rolex Sydney Hobart race. But this, the 77th event, has seen the largest fleet that we've had for some time. It's a very experienced fleet and a very competitive fleet in all divisions. The COVID restrictions have also been lifted, and it's great to have 8 international yachts here and yachts back from WA. It's good to see them. Thank you. We had a total of 109 yachts start the race, 19 of them which were the two-handed yachts, all competing for the major trophies for the first time. I've yet to meet a competitor that has not said how good it is that everyone is equal on this stage. And they've all said what a great sail it was down the coast to Hobart this year. Yes, the breezes were strong, very strong at times, but they all seemed to enjoy the exhilarating downwind ride and the 4 maxis making best of the conditions to test each other along the 628 nautical miles, as did the highly competitive mini maxis and the TP52s. But it's a race to Hobart, and the weather changes, and they were destined to come. Changes were destined to come. So the smaller yachts, and those are the yachts under 50 foot, which make up 2/3 of the total fleet, met some challenging upwind conditions. But only 9 boats retired. They all had a great race. I would also like to thank the volunteers both at the CYC in Sydney, who spend many months preparing and undertaking the necessary checks and paperwork necessary and required to ensure that the entrants meet our very stringent safety requirements in order to partake in this race. However, most of their involvement is complete after the start of the race on Boxing Day, and it is the army of wonderful volunteers that our finishing partner, the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania, provide to the fleets on arrival here in Hobart. It is their tireless effort that they make in such a seamless event, and with their assistance in bringing yachts to their berths, providing provisions, the meet and greet support, and around the race village. They're just wonderful. Thank you, Commodore Richard Bevan, your board and your management, and also to Tracy Matthews for her wonderful and enthusiastic management and control of logistics throughout the event. And to the Rotary Club of Glenorchy for providing many years of dedicated support for looking after the crew's bags and equipment whilst in Hobart. And a special thanks must also go to our international jury and to the race committee led by Lee Goddard. I must also thank all our sponsors, the stakeholders, Tasports, Events Tasmania, Tourism Tasmania, the City of Hobart, AMSA, and our Hobart Village partner, the Tasman. But a very special thanks this year must go to the Tasmanian Water Police for their very courageous support in rescuing 2 of our yachts that got into difficulties, and also Transport New South Wales for their help to rescue and tow a yacht safely to Eden. To the winning group, thank you again for providing JBW as the radio relay vessel for this event. It is so very much appreciated. Really, thank you. Finally, I'd like to thank Rolex for the enduring support of this great race. This year marks our 20 years partnership between the CYCA and Rolex, and whose support of sailing globally is unparalleled. It's been a privilege to have the Managing Director of Rolex here, Benoit Faletti, and from Geneva to witness this event this year, Lionel Church. Thank you so much for being here. I would like to ask our CEO, Justine Kirkton, to join me as we present Benoit with a token of our appreciation for Rolex's encouragement and support of this event over the past 20 years. It's a great one. Thank you to all our competitors. And I'd like to wish you, all of you, the competitors, our friends, management, volunteers and associates of this event, a safe and a very happy new year. And we look forward to you joining us again next year to the next edition of this great event, the Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race. Thank you.
Thank you, Commodore. I'll get you now to present the next round of trophies. And firstly, 2nd Corinthian PHS, 1st in IRC Division 4, 1st Corinthian IRC, the Graham Frizzle Trophy, the CYCA Trophy, and the Memorial Trophy. And the winner is, representing the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania, Midnight Rambler, Ed Saltus. Also receiving the Sir Arthur Warner Trophy, and a terrific result for Ed Saltus in his 40th Rolex Sydney Hobart. I understand he was spotted at the Shipwright Arms with Michael Bensick, 25 Hobarts, and another old mate, Bob Thomas, 30 Hobarts, having a celebratory drink or two over 95 Sydney Hobarts between them. Well done. Next, and you'll need a wheelbarrow for all these trophies, the third two-handed boat across the line, third in ORCI Division 3, third in Corinthian IRC, second in IRC Division 4, first in the two-handed ORCI, first small boat across the line, and first in the two-handed IRC, a two-handed trophy, the two-handed IRC trophy, and the battery point trophy and a half model, the Lombard 34, Mistral, Rupert Henry and Greg O'Shea. Rupert, one of the world's most famous two-handed sailors and solo sailors, completing his 6th Sydney Hobart and taking the honours with Greg O'Shea, his great mate. Well done, Mistral and Rupert Henry. And there's no way he's going to be able to get all of those trophies back to his seat.
You'd be surprised.
Don't stop now.
He'll need more than good seamanship to work this one out. And he might make a liar of me too, but a couple of those big ones have been transported to the back. Next is the navigator of the first Tasmanian yacht on corrected time. It's the City of Hobart Trophy and plaque, and it goes to Walter Verbrak on Alive, the Tasmanian entry. The overall winner in 2018 for Philip Turner and skipper Duncan Hine. Walter Verbrak, the navigator of Alive, the navigator of the first Tasmanian yacht on corrected time. Now, I'm not sure whether Philip Turner's here, so you may have to hang on. The first Tasmanian yacht on IRC, the Tasports Trophy, and the second on IRC Division 0, the CYCA Trophy, and again, the winner is Alive, Philip Turner. The first yacht under 18.5 metres across the finish line, that's the Apollo Trophy and half model. The third on IRC Division 1 and the third IRC overall, the RYCT Trophy and replica, the Storm Bay Cup and replica, and the winner, representing the Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron, the first of the TP52s home across the line at Battery Point, Caro Maximilian Klink. Max completing his 6th Rolex Sydney Hobart in his Bowton 52, and Caro, spectacular performer, crack international crew, and they led the TP52s home, but just couldn't match the handicap rating of Celestial and Guelo. But a fabulous performance by our international visitor, Caro. Second in ORCI Division 1, the CYCA Trophy, the Tattersalls Cup and replica. Second in the IRC Division 1, the CYCA Trophy. Second on IRC overall, the City of Hobart Trophy and replica, the Bass Strait Cup and replica, the Solo Trophy and replica, and the CYCA Trophy. And the winner is Gualo. Matt Donald and Chris Townsend. And I believe Adam Barnes. Adam Barnes, who completed his 21st Rolex Sydney Hobart, is representing Matt Donald and Chris Townsend for Guilo. And a lot of trophies there. I think I can count 7. Just not able to stave off in that thrilling finish against Celestial. Well done, Adam Barnes, Matt Donald and Chris Townsend in Guilo, finishing second overall behind Celestial. And now the Seamanship Award. This is the Rani Trophy, and the winner of this trophy, it was decided this morning, is Enterprise Next Generation from the Fremantle Sailing Club. Anthony Kirk and Andrew Nutman from the Fremantle Sailing Club, Enterprise Next Generation, for standing by Koa following the Pan and the loss of their rudder. Congratulations. The Seamanship Award, the Rani Trophy, going to Enterprise Next Generation. The designer of the winning yacht, the Alan Payne Memorial Trophy and Replica, and it goes to Jules Rolex design team. And I don't think anyone's representing them here today, but we're just making sure we acknowledge them. The navigator of the winning yacht, the Bill Owen Memorial Trophy and Replica, and the navigator, James Dagg, Celestial. James, originally from Hong Kong. He's a Qantas pilot, so he'll be taking to the airwaves again, leaving Bass Strait and the east coast of Tasmania behind him. But the winning navigator, James Dagg, Celestial. First ORCI Division 1, the Charleston Trophy. First IRC Division 1, the George Barton Trophy and Replica, and the CYCA Trophy. And first IRC overall, the CYCA Trophy, the George Adams Tattersall Cup, the RORC Plaque and Replica, and the Government of Tasmania Trophy and Replica. You all know the winner, Celestial, Sam Haynes. And the Celestial crew still here, coming up to join the owner skipper. They've been celebrating hard and long, but they're all still standing. At least we've got enough hands on deck to collect all the trophies. Photo opportunity here. Sam, I think you've got to say a few quick words as the overall winner. I know you probably talked out, but one last opportunity before we say goodbye.
Well, actually, I have got something here. So it happens. Yes, I'd just like to say thank you to the Governor, Barbara Baker, and the Premier, Jeremy Rockcliffe, the CYCA, the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania, Rolex, Benoit, and your team. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, and most importantly, my fellow competitors. I also want to acknowledge the people that are vital to the success of this race being run, and that Arthur's already thanked, the volunteers and so forth. As skipper of this awesome boat and an amazingly talented crew, I can't begin to say how happy we all are to win the Tattersall Trophy in the 2022 Rolex Sydney to Hobart Yacht Race. First, I want to mention the Celestial crew. This team is awesome, and some of the best sailing I've ever done was over the course of this year's race. I love sailing with this team, and getting the win is the result they deserve. Fantastic sailors. Thanks, boys. We have a great culture and a great team. Everyone on board knows their role, backs each other up, and picks themselves up when things are not going well to fight on harder. I had faith in this group of yachtsmen and was able to confidently at the pre-race briefing on the morning of the 26th to say, drive it like you stole it. They had permission to send the yacht. I knew we would have to go as fast as possible the entire journey to give ourselves a chance against the seriously high-end competition this year's race that was in this year's race. The performance of the boat would not be possible without the preparation that went into our campaign. And I particularly want to call out our boat manager, Richard Bott, who has put this platform into perfect shape. We were pushed all the way in intense competition. The IRC fleet in this year's Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race was second to none. I think it's possibly the most competitive IRC fleet ever to race to Hobart, particularly in Div 1, where we had 14 IRC TP52s, including the best Australian yachts, such as Quest, Guelo, Zen and Smuggler. We also had the overseas competitors, Caro and Warrior 1, simply some of the best race yachts going around on the planet. Outside of our division, there are many others that deserve to push for the top places. I can only mention a few examples, particularly Enterprise from WA. Awesome race by those guys. And we thank them as fellow competitors for helping when Cole was badly damaged. Chutzpah, always around the top spots. Then we have URM, Moneypenny, and campaigns such as Sunrise from the UK, another famous name here. It's a huge investment bringing a yacht to Australia for a race. Sunrise and the other international campaigns' presence here for the 2022 edition is a testament to the prestige the Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race holds in history. For us, it is an honour and privilege to race against competitors of this calibre, competition that is acknowledged and acclaimed worldwide. Lastly, I want to thank our friends and families and our wonderful supporters. We could not do this without you. The Celestial has wonderful support. The popularity of her win is very apparent. I apologise that I cannot respond to the hundreds of well-wishers individually. I give my most heartfelt thanks, and I can't express how much the support means to myself and my crew. We have a special group of supporters, many of whom have been in Hobart for the last few days, and these are our close families. Knowing we have you at our sides all the time cannot be underestimated in a successful campaign. When we're out in the Bass Strait, in the darkest nights, high waves, thundering wind, freezing cold and wet, we know we have people who support us in this crazy sport and support our involvement and dedication to yacht racing. Again, I am so totally happy I have the Tattersall in our hands, the Rolex timepiece on my wrist, and the achievement, one of the highest achievement, the joy of the highest achievement in yachting in my heart. Thank you.
Sam, I'm now going to ask the Managing Director of Rolex Australia, Mr. Benoit Folletti, to officially present the Rolex Yachtmaster timepiece to crown your magnificent triumph. Well, I think we all agree, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a fantastic race, the 77th edition of the Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race. It's been a classic, Sydney Hobart. We agree with that, with the cutthroat 100-footers, the speed and the resilience of the TP52s, and then all manner of weather hitting the rest of the fleet. But the last boat still to finish, one of the smallest, 30 feet, with a 70-year-old female pensioner on board and her 60-year-old mate, and we hope they're going to get in here before midnight, because that really sums up the spirit of the Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race. So let's now sit back as we reflect on all the exciting action over the last 6 days of this epic journey from Sydney south to Hobart. How good was that Rolex montage? That has absolutely taken my breath away. Absolutely awe-inspiring. And what a note to finish our presentation for the Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race, the trophy presentation for 2022. It's been a triumphant race, and I think it's had it all, as we said, one of the truly classic Rolex Sydney Hobart races. So that completes the formal side, ladies and gentlemen. May I now ask everyone to please stand for the departure of Her Excellency the Governor and Emeritus Professor Chalmers, escorted by Aide-de-Camp Flight Lieutenant Paula Chatwood. The official party will depart, and we thank Her Excellency for her presence here today and her wonderful message on behalf of Tasmania. It's been a fabulous race. We won't forget it, and we'll all be back next year. The Governor has departed, so have the dignitaries. We can relax, enjoy ourselves, and probably have a quiet little drink. Enjoy.